John Wesley Powell, A Dangerous Ride Down the Colorado. Prologue.
John Wesley Powell was determined to lead an expedition down the wild and dangerous Colorado River with a crew of 8 and 4 boats. When they reached the Grand Canyon, food was running out. They had already lost 2 boats, and the rapids of the Colorado had almost killed them. They were wet, tired, and hungry, and there was no end in sight. One man quit, but John Wesley Powell wanted to continue. They would come to the end of the river soon, he said. 3 more men didn't think so. They left the expedition. 5 men stayed with Powell. Who made the right decision?
Vocabulary. Listen to and say these words. Determined. Appeal. Shove off. Rapids. Upside down. Expedition. Convince. Enlist. Trapper. Eventually. Toss. Struggle. Spoil. Refuse. The story. John Wesley Powell was a geologist. He loved to learn about rocks and the natural world around him. He also loved to learn about new places in America, and he loved to explore. At that time, very little was known about the Colorado River. He was determined to explore it. Although he had lost one arm in the Civil War, that never stopped him from doing things. He enlisted a crew of 9 men. The idea of adventure appealed to them. After all, they had experience as soldiers, trappers, hunters, and guides. How dangerous could a river be? And so, on May 24th, 1869, they shoved off. They took 4 boats, brought provisions for 10 months, and headed down the Green River on their way to the Colorado. Eventually, they found themselves in the Grand Canyon on a river that was, in fact, very dangerous. It had waterfalls, huge rocks, and dangerous rapids. One boat was tossed upside down, leaving 3 men in the water, struggling for their lives. One man decided he had had enough adventure and left the expedition. The trip didn't get any easier. They lost another boat. Their food had gotten wet and spoiled. The desperate men wondered if they would survive. 3 more decided to leave and climb out of the canyon. Powell tried to convince them to stay. Who knew what would happen if they left? The men refused to stay. They would take their chances. 2 days later, Powell and the remaining men reached safety. They had spent 3 months on the river and had traveled over 1,000 miles. They had made it out alive, but the 3 men who left were never seen nor heard from again.
Dictation. 1. Who was determined to explore the Colorado River? 2. What kind of men did he enlist for his crew? 3. Did the thought of adventure appeal to the men? 4. How many boats did they have when they shoved off? 5. Eventually, they reached which canyon? 6. What happened to one of the boats in the rapids? 7. How many men struggled in the river? 8. Why couldn't they eat the food? 9. How many men wanted to leave the expedition? 10. Did Powell convince the men to stay? 11. Why did they refuse to listen?
Summing up,
Powell's trip down the canyon could easily have gone down the drain.
no doubt about it. Doing it with one arm is beyond belief.
Somehow he came out of it smelling like a rose.
After 3 months, I have my doubts about the rose.